Hello, my name is Steve Crown, and I'm working on my Dungeons & Dragons RPG the Red Book Rules 1980 edition. I'm doing a solo campaign, solo adventure project with these rules. And with the 1980 edition, I'm just doing basic rules and expert rules. One of the things I want to do, what I want to do is continue on with the environmental notes for the vampire for the giant bat and for the giant vampire bat. But I'm gonna look at the encounter table listing here a little bit. So what I've done, I got two different formats basically. The encounter tables for the nocturnal monsters does not have a list of the nocturnal monsters like I have the list for the hit dice monsters. Actually, I did this, then I did this. But the way my data is organized, the hit dice is listed, and then the environmental is listed. The monster settings. So what I did was, well, actually it goes back to the obsolete tables here. What I originally did was I made a list. I probably need to redo this. Of all the nocturnal monsters, because the first what I was wanting to do is create a adventure for level 1 character, and the primary monsters that the level 1 character is going to go up against is under 1 hit dice monster. And the first under 1 hit dice monster was a normal bat. Kobold is 1, White Ape is 4, Bandit is 1. And then you got a bat. The normal bat is HP. How did they do that? I thought I had that set up where I can do this closely. So you can see it says hit dice on the normal bat, 1 hit point, and it says 0 level man. And what they're referring to is this combat table here. Normal man. Okay, character attacks, and then you have monster attacks. So level 1 to level 3, level 4 to... So these are normal attacks for level 1 characters. Magic users, fighters, thieves, dwarves, elves, halflings. And then you have the monster attacks. So Normal humans are considered level 0. So that would be hit dice 0. The Beckney, I think, does hit dice 0. Mentioned hit dice 0. But because humans, normal humans, have 1 to 4 hit points, they would be 1/2 hit dice. Because if you look at every half hit dice monster, let's just go with the list here. Oh, that list does not have that. I don't have a list there. So, actually, if you look at every monster in the book, with the exception of normal man, when you have hit dice 1 through 4, hit points 1 through 4, it's a hit dice of 1/2. So let's see here. Giant centipede has a hit dice of 1/2 when it's 1 to 4 hit points. Okay. Killer Bee has 1/2 hit dice and 1 to 4 hit points. Kobold has 1/2 hit dice and 1 to 4 hit points. Mediums, which are magic users, have 1 hit dice. Then which is superior to what normal humans have, player characters. So they get an extra asterisk on their hit dice. They get 1 for being magic users, and then you got 1 for that. They got extra hit points. That's what I'm assuming. And then they just got the normal human with no hit dice. And then you have giant rat. You got the normal rat with 1 hit point. And then you got a giant rat with 1 to 4 hit points. And okay, they did not do that half hit dice on that giant rat. Sprites, I have 1/2 hit dice, 1 to 4 hit points. Okay, let's go on with expert rules. I think expert has only one rule monster that has. This gets a leech or a termite. Well, normal hawk is 1/2 hit dice, 1 to 4 hit points. Okay, where's my thumb? There's my thumb. Okay. Insects, scorpions, and termites. So yeah, that's part of my insectoid list. Scorpions. Let's see here. Hit dice. So far, only normal hawk is listed. I said termites and giant leeches. We passed the giant leech. Water termites is the smallest one is 1+1. So just as the normal hawk, that was 1/4, 1/2, 1 to 4 hit points. So what's the giant leech look like? Leech giant. So is that leech giant? Giant leech is 6 hit dice. Wow. How big are they? 3 to 4 feet long. Aye. Bad enough when you get 20 of these on you. The normal size, but 3 foot, 4 foot. That's bad. Okay, carnivorous age. Yeah, the 2 exceptions were the giant rats and normal humans. When they didn't do the 1/2 hit dice and 1 to 4 hit points. Okay, so what I did like, okay, so my list, I took the hit dice one more. I went to all the bees. I went to the 2 lists here. Oops, wrong. Wait a minute, wrong one. Right one. So I went to this list, and I went through. This is the basic monster. Wait. Basic rules. And then there's the expert rules for the red book. So, and I went, that's where all these monsters come from. And when I did the nocturnal monsters, I have a nocturnal monster list, or I had. Okay, oh, here's my, and there's my nocturnal monster list. So what I want to do is I want to make a nocturnal, make a list like this on my counter tables for the nocturnal monsters. And then I have the different encounter charts. So, but right now, these encounter chart tables are in experimentation mode. They're prototypes. I'm not ready to actually do an actual table. These are just ideas that I am thinking about, and for future activities, I may use them, may not. Just going through different ideas. So that's what I want to do. So like these papers are no good anymore. They're not active. But what I'm doing is I'm using these as reference for future data sheets, for making additional data sheets. And then once I've got all the information from here that I can glean, then they're going to go bye-bye. Same thing here with this list here. This monster list is an example of how I want to do come in handy. So, let's see. Okay, let's take these out. And I got plenty of paper to play with. Okay, so see if there's any variations in these two sheets. Environments, associated monsters. Well, on the vampire you had monster summoning, the shape changing, but you see the monster summonings and the shape change for the vampire is part of the associated monsters. So, like, for example, when the vampire shape changes from a human to a direwolf, the vampire as a direwolf could join a direwolf group and be part of the direwolf group. If he shape changes, I say he, it could be she also. The vampire changes into a giant bat. The vampire could be part of the giant bat group. Now, the 5% chance of giant bats being vampire bats, group of vampire bats, you can play with that a little bit, and maybe not the entire group is a vampire or vampire bats, just the vampire who has transformed into a giant bat is part of that group. The vampire when it transforms into a giant bat, is a giant vampire bat. There is some play on that, and that's in my vampire mechanics notes. Then that's this cloud, which is, you know, okay. I'm going to make a let's get the glasses over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make on the vampire sheet, this is the back. Okay. Okay, I got the protection sheet is offline. Okay. So what I'm going to do is associated monsters. This vampire, it really's got me focused, distracted. There is so much you can do with the vampire and with the bats. Blood of the living. Okay, sushi. How good is sushi? I'm going to look at my other data sheets, see what I've got on the associated monsters. I do not have listed associated monsters. Okay, so let's see here. Now I have, okay, normal bats associated with men because they fly about their heads in confusion. They don't attack humans. They don't attack men, which may be interpreted as humans and or humanoids. Definitely humans, but humanoids may also be included or may not be included. Then you have the normal bat controller and a normal bat summoner. That may be whoever, whatever, which may not be associated with humans and humanoids. For example, talking dragons that can cast spells may have a control bat spell or a summoning bat spell, you know, or has control of a magic wand and that controls bats or that summons bats. So associated monsters are what's listed in the description. And in the description of the living, which means anything. The most vampire stories, I mean every vampire story that I know of, does not involve a world where elves and dwarves and halflings and orcs also exists. Now, they may have werewolves, werewolves are the most common lycanthropes associated with vampires. But other than that, you're not dealing with elves, you're not dealing with orcs, you know, things like that. There are some stories where vampires feed on animals. There's a story where one vampire chooses to feed on animals instead of humans. There is maybe the same story. A vampire who feeds on animals because he could not find humans and loathed eating animals, would prefer eating humans but couldn't find any suitable humans. The living dead could be animals, humanoids, human. Okay, so man. Let me see here. Let's get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. It says here, vampires are most feared of the undead, feeding on the blood of the living in order to survive. Vampires haunt ruins, tombs. Can you see that? Ruins, tombs, crypts, and other places deserted by man. They are unaffected by sleep, charm, or hold spells. They can only be hit with magic weapons. In human form, a vampire's touch will drain 2 life energy levels from the victim. A character slain by a vampire will return from the dead as a vampire. If a vampire may attempt to charm any who gaze into its eyes, the victim must save versus spells to avoid the charm, with a -2 penalty on the roll. A charmed victim will totally be under the vampire's control, but cannot use spells or magic. A vampire in any form can regenerate 3 hit points per round as soon as it's damaged. A vampire is reduced to 0 hit points. It will not regenerate, but will become gaseous and flee its coffins. In human form, the vampire can summon rats, giant bats, wolves, direwolves. I'm avoiding the numbers, if these are in the area. So rats can be lycanthropes. So wait a minute. Okay, so wait. Monster summoning, okay. Rare rats. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Giant bats. Okay, we got that. Werewolves. Now, I did say I do have a rumor where the locals misidentify a local vampire as being a rare bat lycanthrope. So I can say we're going to create a rare bat lycanthrope. I'm not going to do that. It's just a misunderstanding. Okay, so werewolves, these in the area. The reason is they can shape change into the wolf, which is okay. Weaknesses, okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, that's done. And werewolves would be what could be associated with dire wolves and normal wolves. I gotta look at that up. Right now I'm not doing wolves, so that'll come later. Weaknesses of the vampire. We're not common to within 10 feet of any strongly presented holy symbol, although they may move to attack the person holding the symbol from a different angle. He's not going to hit me from the front, but he'll try to hit me from the back or from the side. Okay. If I don't keep facing him, but just do this, or maybe I do this, that would not probably work. Depends on the willpower, and that would have to be a will check. That would be an ability score check, characteristic check. Yeah. Go back to the reading this. Let's go like that. That's easier. Yeah. Okay, vampires will not common. Okay, although they may move to attack a person holding someone from another direction. Strong Lord of Garlic repels them, save versus poison, or cannot attack that round. May take the form of a human, a dire wolf, a giant bat, or a gaseous cloud. Okay, so that's shape change. I'm debating whether these should be the monster summonings and the shape change should be in the associated monsters. That would make things easier. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to change this format. I'm going to do this. More. Okay. Okay, rats. They said rats and giant rats, so I'm going to say normal rats and then giant rats. I'm just going to go with single. Normal bat. And giant bat. %5 of the 5% of all giant bat encounters will be a group of giant vampire bats. So what I'm doing there, summoning, there may be 5% chance they're vampire bats, or I can say it's just a vampire bat, and then in some scenarios the vampire summons giant vampire bats, solely giant, instead of giant bats. The Dungeon Master, this game scenario, the storyline, the adventure storyline would say giant vampire bats instead of giant bats. And then you can have, since it's giant bats, since all 5% from the base, there is options here for the giant vampire bat and the giant bat on the associated monsters. Normal wolves. Dire wolf. Again, ooh, so the rumor on the this new 3-ring binder has both, lit, and so you got to operate both of them to open up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat the rumor local villagers misidentify a local vampire as being a werewolf lycanthrope. Again, perfectionist on spelling here. Okay, vampire. Now the second one is actually more plausible because werewolf lycanthropes are a thing. The locals may not know about vampires, and so but may know about lycanthropes, and so therefore the misidentification of a vampire from a lycanthrope is very plausible. Could be very plausible. Let's see here. Especially if you have a storyline where the locals did not have a vampire, but a vampire does move in. Maybe the locals do have werewolves, and the vampire moves in, and they don't know about the vampire, and they see the guy shapeshift. They've seen people shapeshift into werewolves, and they've seen him shapeshift to a wolf. So okay, he's under control. Okay, so let's see here what else we got. A human, a dire wolf, a giant bat. And so that's, oops. Do that. Dire wolf is already mentioned. A vampire may take the... Let's get back in here. A vampire may take the form of a human, a dire wolf, a giant bat, or a gaseous cloud at will. This transformation requires 1 round, which is 10 seconds. And 1 round, which is 10 seconds. In dire wolf or giant bat form, the vampire will move, attack, and do damage according to the statistics for those creatures. The vampire's armor class, hit dice, morale, and saving throws remain unchanged. In gaseous form, the vampire can fly at the listed speed and has immunity to all weapon attacks, including magic weapons. The vampire cannot attack while in gaseous form. Vampires cannot run across running water, either on foot or flying, except at bridges or while in their coffins. During the day, a vampire usually rests in its coffin, and failure to do so results in the loss of 2 to 12 hit points per day. These hit points will not be regenerated until the vampire has rested in its coffin for a full day. Now, I think I made some notes where I can divvy that up. Now, if this was AD&D, you could divvy, and in AD&D you would be able to divvy that up and from 24 hours to say, okay, X pound of hit points per day, per hour, or whatever. Destroying vampires. A vampire can be destroyed by driving a wooden stake through its heart, or by immersion in water for 1 turn, which is 10 minutes. If a vampire is exposed to direct sunlight, the creature must make a saving throw versus death ray for each round. That's 10 seconds, or disintegrates. Note that a continuing light spell will not disintegrate a vampire, but will partially blind it, making its attacks suffer a -4 penalty to hit. If all the vampire's coffins are blessed or destroyed, the vampire will weaken, taking damage as above, and will die when its hit points are reduced to 0. A vampire will always have several well-hidden coffins available. So, a vampire will always have several well-hidden coffins available, which means he may have a vampire may have a coffin within a normal a giant bat layer. A vampire may have a coffin and a dire wolf layer because they can transform into dire wolves. Therefore, would be recognized as a dire wolf by the other wolves. Would be recognized as a giant bat by the giant bats. May have a coffin with a giant bat. If the giant bats have a cave system, the giant vampire bats have a cave system of their own aside from the giant bats. So, that would be, so the only controllers here is the devil swine, which is a devil swines are lycanthropes, shape changers. They haunt the fringes of human settlements, especially those near swamps or forests. They are carnivorous and especially fond of human flesh. They assume the forms of huge hogs or fat human beings and can change from one form to another form freely at night. But at dawn they must remain in their current form until dusk. Devil swines can be harmed only by silver or magic weapons. Devil swine possesses a powerful charms person spell that can be used 3 times each 24 hours. They can use this spell in either human form or swine form. Signature versus spells is allowed at -2 on the roll. The charmed victim will be unable to use spells or magic devices, and each devil swine may have 0 to 3, 1d4 -1 humans under its control. Devil swine prefer to attack from ambush. Okay. Here is the basic rules. Here's the basic rules. Lycanthropes Y, so this is Lycanthropes. I'm sorry I didn't do the thing for the devil swine. Where we're at, okay, this. Okay. Lycanthropes are humans who can change into beasts, or in the case of rare rats, beasts who can change into humans. So, we'll read that button. They do not wear armor, since it would interfere with their shape changing abilities. Any lycanthrope can serve 1 or 2 of the animals of their rare type. Rare bears may summon bears. Werewolves may summon wolves, who will arrive in 1 to 4 rounds, 1d4. If a lycanthrope is hit by wolfsbane, it must save versus poison or run away in fear. The spirit of wolfsbane must be swung or thrown as a weapon using normal combat procedures. All lycanthropes will turn back into human form when killed. Some animals, such as horses, do not like the smell of lycanthropes and will react with fear. Animal form. A lycanthrope may only be harmed by magic weapons, silvered weapons, or magic spells. The lycanthrope cannot speak normal languages, though it can speak with normal animals of its rare type. For example, rare rats can speak with normal rats. An animal form will not be able to speak normal language. Okay. In human form, the lycanthrope often looks somewhat like their rare form. Rare rats will have longer noses, rare bears are hairy, and so forth. In this form, they may be attacked normally and may speak any known languages. Which means they can speak with animals of their rare type. Probably going to have to list that as a rule. Game mechanic. Lycanthropy is a disease. Any human character who is severely hurt by rare creatures, losing more than half of his or her hit points when in battle with them, will become a lycanthrope of the same type in 2 to 24 days, 2d12. The victim will begin to show signs of disease after only half of that time. So 2 days minimum, so within 1 day, they will start showing the disease, and then in 2 days they are there. With 12-day transformation, in 6 days they start showing signs, and then another 6 days they are full critters. Okay, the disease will not kill. The disease will kill non-humans instead of turning them into real creatures. It may only be cured by a high-level cleric, level or greater, as explained in the D&D expert rules, who will do so for a suitable price for service. Any character who becomes a full-will creature will become an NPC to be run by the DM only. Okay. Rare rats are creatures. Okay. Rare rats are different from most lycanthropes. They are intelligent and can speak common in either form and may use any weapon. A rare rat usually prefers to use a man-sized rat form, but may become a full-sized human. Rare rats are sneaky and often set ambushes, surprising on a roll of 1 to 4 on a d6. They summon giant rats to help in battle. Only a rare rat spike causes lycanthropy. So, because rats rare rats can speak with normal rats and they can speak with giant rats. Let's see here. Because rare rats are animals that transform. Therefore, rats or giant rats will not be killed by lycanthrope. Will be disease will kill non-humans instead of turning them into rare creatures. So, non-humans could include humanoids like bugbears, orcs, halflings, dwarves, elves. It would, rats would be the exception. Giant rats would be the exception. Normal rats may not be, but giant rats would be an exception. Giant rats are half hit dice. A rare rat is 3 hit dice. I'm going to have to make notes on that. So that would be part of the rare rat. And werewolf. Look at that. Okay, rats. Normal rats may be from 6 inches to 2 feet long. Giant rats are 3 feet long or more. So basically twice the size, or well, 6 inches times 0.5 feet. 2, 4, 6. So times 6. 3 feet to 12 feet in length. Hey, princess. Yes, you are. Yeah, okay. That sheet of paper is going to get damaged. I'm going to have to redo that. Okay. So, okay. And there's the princess. Rats eat almost anything. Some rats carry diseases. Anyone who's bitten by a rat has 1 in 20 chance of being infected. This chance should be checked each time a rat successfully hits. The victim may still avoid the disease by making a saving throw versus poison. If failed, the victim will either die in 1 to 6 days. Otherwise, they will be sick and unable to adventure for 1 month. Roll 1d4. The disease is only deadly on a result of 1. The disease may be cured magically. See D&D expert rules. Rats usually avoid humans and will not attack unless bitten. Okay, you'll be these. No. Okay, yes. I do not want claw damage on my stuff. Okay. Rats usually avoid humans who are not attacked unless summoned by a rare rat, for example, or defending their lair. Rats are good swimmers, may not attack anything. Okay. Okay, I just got distracted on the vampire, and I think, well, once I go into the rats and the werewolves or the wolves, I'm going to have to go over the Lincoln's ropes and stuff. That's going to bring in the vampires. Okay. It's a good time to stop here. I figure what I'm going to do. I still do not do my normal chart, but this is also in preparation for that. Associated monsters, and then I got to do the okay. Well, Daisy needs her attention, so I'll finish that later.